Hello. So the theory I chose will be behavior theory, and my emphasis will be depression. So in this scenario, I will focus on cognitive behavioral therapy, and behavioral theory and cognitive theory are often used together in interventions, which is why I chose to use it in my role play, who is Thomas, an adolescent boy who is experiencing depression due to the loss of his job recently because of the pandemic. But he didn't lose his job forever. It was shut down through the pandemic and will be reopening, but he just doesn't know when. So CBT specifically targets actions and behaviors and can help the client notice negative thought patterns and behavior responses to challenging or stressful situations. The skills that I will use will be reframing, which I feel like he will need in order to kind of touch on the thoughts of depressions that he's having and try to change some of those feelings that he's having, and as well as guided discovery. You will probably also see some empathy and reflective listening or active listening skills as well. So reframing will allow Thomas to look at his negative thought patterns, and I will ask him about his thought process in certain situations to try to make him aware of them so that he can learn to reframe these into more positive ones. With guided discovery, I will try to learn from the client's viewpoint and then ask questions to challenge his beliefs and broaden his thinking. I'll also say I wrote down a lot of key points on my paper, so I'm probably going to be looking down because I don't have someone to do this with. So I had to kind of write it out and, kind of in a way that I can remember what to say, because I'm acting like I have someone to work with and they're giving me responses to what I say, and I hope that's okay. Okay. So, hi Thomas, how are you doing today? Okay. Well, that's really good to hear. Did you enjoy your weekend? It sounds like fun. So, I had a joyful weekend as well. We were moving and getting things situated, and then we rode to the beach. And I was able to clear my head and kind of relieve some stress that I was having. Yeah, that sounds like fun as well. We were going to do that, but we didn't. Okay, so really good, really good. So before we get started, I want to reflect on some of our last session and what you were feeling in that last session. Would that be okay? Yes? Okay, so from what I recall, you were feeling depressed, and you stated that you recently lost your job due to the pandemic, and you were working at a plant and it shut down, and it's been hard to find another one. And you feel like you lost a sense of who you are, and you feel like you don't fit in anymore, and you feel like you're less of a man because of that. Is that correct? Okay. So today, let's just start and ease into it by asking you to describe to me some of your thoughts regarding your job loss. Yes. Okay. So what I hear you saying is that you're a failure, you are worthless, you can't make ends meet anymore, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know where you fit in at anymore. You're stressed, you're upset, you're broken. These are a lot of emotions that you're feeling. Would you agree with those emotions? Okay, so I want you to know that they're all common feelings to have, especially surrounding something like this, something such as important as losing a job. Yes, I understand. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to turn those negative thoughts into more positive ones and see how that works for you, okay? Okay, so let's start with, I feel like a failure. How can we change that? That's good. That's a really good one. And it didn't take you long to come up with that. That's good. You were able to notice the change. Okay, so you're saying instead of feeling like a failure, you can say that this situation was out of your control and had nothing to do with your job performance, and you did not fail at your job, right? Really good. Let's try one more. So let's change the thought of you not knowing where you fit in at anymore. Good. Good. So what we're going to say here is what I just heard you say to me is the job doesn't define who you are as a person. You still have friends and family who are there to support you. And you can rely on them in a sense, maybe not financially, but they're there for emotional support, and you're able to talk with them to help get you through everything. And you can also find some new activities to do. That's very good that you pointed that out as well. You can find something to try to occupy your mind. So how are you feeling so far about this? Well, that's good. So another suggestion I would give is journaling. So along with turning these negative thoughts into positive ones, start trying to write down what you feel and what's going on at the time that you feel this way, to kind of give yourself a sense of, your environment that you're in that may be triggering these feelings that you're having. Like, for example, for me, I'll say a rainy day. A rainy day used to make me feel really depressed, and I didn't want to get up out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. But I started relating rainy days to the smell of the rain and being able to sit inside with my family and get some work done, and just having that bond there, and sitting on the porch and watching it rain and listen to it on the tin roof. It's so relaxing to me now. So I turned that negative environment that I was experiencing into a positive one, because for a long time it was bad for me. Okay, so you've had that same feeling before with rain. I think a lot of people do. That's really good. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your situation from your viewpoint. Help me understand exactly what you're feeling. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that having a job makes you feel more of a man, and you feel like you lost this feeling when you lost your job. You feel like you have lost power and control of your life, and you feel defeated. You have been working since you were 15 years old, and this is the first time you've been without a job in years. Is that correct? Yes? Would you agree with all of that? Yes? Okay. So tell me, does your family know that you are without a job? Yes? Do they think any less of you? No? Oh, so they were actually glad to be able to spend more time with you. Yes? So your mom hugged you and said, "Oh, my baby's back." Yes. So it doesn't sound like they're really upset about what's going on. They're more happy to have you around more. Right? Yes. So maybe the failure and the disappointment that you feel like you are isn't really true. Okay. So is it a temporary job loss or a permanent job loss? It's temporary. Okay. So you didn't lose it forever. You just lost it for a little while. And you may not know how long that will be, but you do know that you have something to fall back on. Yes? Okay. So maybe you should take this time to spend with your family and rest. You said you're able to draw unemployment for the weeks that you're out, correct? Yes? Okay. So that gives you some financial means to support you, and maybe you're just thinking a little bit too much into what's going on. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. It could be very good for you. Do you agree? Yes? Okay, so we're about to wrap things up. I want you to start your journaling, and we'll focus on that in our next session. Keep practicing with your negative thoughts and turning them into positive ones, and allow yourself to think outside the box. Don't get so caught up in the negative thoughts and feelings, and don't get so caught up in not having a job to go to anymore. Spend time with your family and get reacquainted with them, because from what I'm hearing is, you're kind of a workaholic. You work, and you've been working since you were 15, and you're now how old? Okay, so 21 is a good age. And it may be time for a small break and a little slowdown. You agree? Yes? Okay, so is this a good place to stop for us? Yes, and you'll practice your journaling and what you're feeling and what's going on in the environment at that time as well? Okay, so thank you for your time, and thank you for coming to see me today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session. Bye.